Good evening. You are listening to Right on Campus, the UW-Eau Claire College Republican podcast.
Good evening. Welcome back to Right on Campus, the UWEC College Republicans podcast. I'm Tatiana.
And I'm Grace.
And we are tonight's hosts of Right on Campus. Welcome back to Season 2. In tonight's episode, we are going to be discussing abortion, what it is, its risks and its side effects, and how we can better support pregnant moms. Just as our weekly announcement, reminder that we meet every Monday night in Centennial 1704 from 7 to 8. We'd love to see you guys there. All right, Grace, let's kick it off. This is a heavy topic.
Yeah.
Preparing for this, I was kind of a mess, not gonna lie.
No, same. Abortion is a very heavy topic for me, and I'm very strong on my stance, and I always kind of have been. So,
abortion is actually what got me into politics.
Yeah, same. I first learned about abortion when I was in 4th grade, and
oh my goodness.
Yeah, my mom was she said something. She was like, I went and saw a movie about abortion. I was like, what is abortion? And then she explained it to me, and I'm like, who would do that? Who would want to do that? And then my mom kind of just explained why some people do it, and then also why we shouldn't do it. So,
right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know when I how or when I learned about it. I just know I always was very against it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So abortion, what it is. So I think it's literally the dictionary definition is the deliberate termination of a human pregnancy. So there are 2 different types of abortions. There's a medical abortion and a surgical abortion. So the medical abortion is where a woman is given a series of pills that ultimately ends the baby's life and causes the tissue to be expelled from the uterus. So this essentially, if you think about it, it kind of induces a miscarriage.
Yeah.
But it's an intentional miscarriage.
Right. And I think it's important to note too that it's actively starving the baby. That's how this works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works, actually. So the first medication is mifeprostone. Sorry, kind of butchered that a little bit, but it essentially blocks progesterone, which is needed for the baby to survive in utero, especially within the first and second trimesters. So a woman is given that, and then 24 to 48 hours later, a second medication is taken called misoprostol.
Yeah, misoprostol.
Yeah, one of the 2.
We're not pharmacists.
And it causes the uterus to contract and expel the tissue of the baby. So it's essentially inducing labor and starts contractions. So all of this is very painful, very excruciating.
They tell you that it's just going to be
it's like a period.
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
a
not.
heavy period that lasts 2 weeks.
No, it's not.
No.
It's agonizing pain.
Yeah. And they don't prepare you for what you're going to see.
Yeah.
You know, women go home and just expect a period and end up in the bathroom bleeding for hours and literally see tissue sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a handful of movies on abortion, and I've seen how both work, or both forms of abortion work, and I'm like, this is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. No, it is. It just really bothers me that they don't even try to make it not painful for the baby.
Yeah.
You know,
they're oh, that's not even a human.
Right. Either way, even if you're numbing the baby before you kill it, killing it is obviously wrong. That's murder. But they literally, because progesterone is what makes a healthy womb. Yeah. In the initial, phase of pregnancy, it's pretty much allows your baby to have enough nutrients and everything it needs and to survive. And what mifepristone does is it blocks. It's like a progesterone blocker, so it blocks it. And you're literally blocking the baby's ability to get nutrients. It's like if you were to cover my mouth, right? I can't breathe. that's not a fun way to die.
No, it's like you are covering your mouth, can't, like, no water, no food, essentially torture.
Yeah.
Like medieval torture is what it is.
And you don't even know you're pregnant until usually like 2 weeks is the earliest probably.
Yeah.
And
Even that, it's like,
even then it's going to take time to actually schedule the abortion.
mm-hmm.
And so by the time you're going in, it's at least a month, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, you have a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Your baby's starting to actually develop into something that you may begin to recognize as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And it really bothers me.
Yeah. So medical abortion, I don't think I said this, is for when the baby is still small enough to be expelled
Right.
from the uterus without having to manually open your
Mm-hmm.
cervix and rip and take it out.
Yeah.
But the surgical abortion is it's more common, especially the later you realize you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in a surgical abortion is a surgeon will manually open a woman's cervix, which I can't express how dangerous that is.
Yeah.
That is very dangerous. And then they insert a suction tube and start literally ripping the limbs off of the child
Yeah.
in the uterus.
And the suction tube is like serrated.
Yeah.
So it's
Like-
like pokey.
What, like, I just wanted to make sure I got all my facts straight when I was looking this up, and it says they gently put suction in and gently suction, like, no,
they just coat it with gently.
No,
No,
there's
it's
nothing
also
gentle about
The
this.
suction is 20 times that of a household vacuum.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
But in some cases, they're especially at, like, if you are almost to term, which we'll get into that later about, like, late term abortions, some surgeons will literally have to go in and take out the pieces of the child
Mm-hmm.
with clamps.
Right. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll scrape the entire wall
Yeah.
of your uterus.
Yeah. They do that so that they can
To
get
confirm
the
that everything's gone and then to get the placenta as
yeah,
well.
the placenta. So
Yeah.
that is what abortion is. If you are curious, I strongly encourage to look up what an abortion looks like. They have like videos on YouTube. Like it's not of an actual abortion.
Yeah.
It's like a graphic or like
and even that, like I was looking earlier, I was literally it's bad.
yeah,
It's really bad.
It is a little traumatizing. So I will warn you about
Yeah.
that. But
But I do think it's important you understand it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The other thing to note too is like when you get up to like the 18-week mark or like where you're starting to get, a much more developed baby and the head's bigger,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they can't get the head out just through the suctioning, so they literally go in and crush the head.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
all like a lot of times they don't even like kill the baby first. Like their baby is actively alive in some cases.
Mm-hmm. Like it gives me like the chills just thinking
Yeah.
about it. It's
It's one of the most evil things I think to happen in our country.
yeah. I 100% agree. So, what are some post-abortion effects?
Yeah. So there's a lot of risks. There's a lot of side effects that come with abortion. We kind of mentioned that, like, you're going to be bleeding for 2 weeks, and they say, it's just a heavy period. It's not at all. As mentioned before, there's some side effects. So I looked at Mayo's website about this, and they have it broken down into like what's common, what's uncommon, and then what's really rare.
Yeah.
The more common side effects are anxiety, blurred vision, chills, cold sweats, coma, confusion, cool/pale skin, depression, dizziness, fast heart rate, headache, increased hunger, nausea, nervousness, nightmares, seizures, shakiness, slurred speech, swelling, and weakness.
These are the most common side effects, folks.
I want to just note how they're just thrown in there. They have coma,
Yeah, coma.
and just I go on Mayo all the time for
Yeah.
different things I'm struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see a side effect list this long very
No.
often. It's bad.
It-
And the other ones just get longer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really concerning. And the other thing to note too is on their website they also have a long list of medications that it can interact with. And I mean, like, when I say long list, like, if you pretty much take any medication, you're at a extremely high risk if you take an abortion pill.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through because I used to be on a few medications, and I was looking, both my medications are on there. And and I just wonder too, like, is that even talked about? Because there's no way, looking at the number of women who get abortions, that they aren't on any type of medication. You know,
Oh, there's
especially
no
when
way.
there's this push for over-the-counter abortion or abortion through mail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's concerning. You also have to watch, you can't be eating blueberries, cranberries, and really bad is grapefruit juice. Like, everywhere says, do
What?
not eat grapefruits, do not have grapefruit juice.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so random. But, and then, you know, beyond just the long list, it's important to look at, I think, the studies that have been conducted as well. And there's a study done that showed 20% of post-abortive women experience side effects such as hemorrhaging, convulsions, ectopic pregnancy, uterine rupture, and infection. 20% is a high number.
Yeah. If you think about the amount of women that get an abortion each year, you take
It's 3,000 a day.
Yeah. You take 20% of those people. 20% of those people are getting these side effects.
That's 600 women experience these side effects a day.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it's bad. And there was another study that the FDA conducted that showed that medicated abortion has 4 times a complication rate than surgical abortion.
Honestly, I don't know if I find that shocking or not, because with the surgical abortion, you're manually opening your cervix,
Yeah.
which is a lot of problems in itself, along with high risk of infection and sepsis.
Right.
But I also can see how, like, the medical, because that's like,
Well, you're sent home almost right away when you
Yeah.
have a chemical abortion.
yeah, they
Like-
literally give you, it's like you're at a pharmacy.
Right.
They give you the drugs and then they're like, okay, good luck.
They'll give you the first one. Sometimes they'll have you sit in the office and take the first one.
Yeah.
And monitor you for so many minutes or whatever, like a lot of drugs. And then they send you home with the 4 second pills
Yeah.
that you have to take. And yeah, you're just, take these within the next 28 hours or 48 hours. Oh my gosh.
28 hours.
Such a random number. No, in the next 4, I think it's 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, that like I kind of see where that's 4 times more complications just because.
Yeah.
And also, like, are women going to go back in?
Right. Like, they think it's all done and over with. But it's
Right.
like, no, you just did something, like, drastic to your body. There's, like, you're gonna have major side effects and major changes. Like,
Right.
it's not just a one and done thing. And that goes pretty much with any medical issue with your physical
Right.
body.
Oh yeah.
As a chronic illness girly.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
So,
Well, and the other thing too is, I think there's this misconception that it's a quick fix, end the pregnancy, but you still have the same hormone response as when, actually it's a worse hormone response because it's so abrupt,
yeah.
but it's a change in hormones from pregnant to non-pregnant. And that's a huge,
Yeah.
like, change in your mood. And there's a lot of mental health issues that come with that too. Cambridge
yeah.
University did a study that showed women are 89% more likely to have mental health problems post-abortion.
89?
Yeah.
8-9?
8-9. British Journal of Psychiatry showed that you're 110% more likely to abuse alcohol, 155% more likely to commit suicide, 220% more likely to abuse marijuana, 37% more likely to experience depression, and 34% more likely to develop an anxiety disorder.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's your reason to not.
Yeah. It's
like
like, why are we promoting this?
No, like, that's actually insane. Like, it's wild to me that so many people think that having an abortion is so easy and so
Right.
simple. Like, no. There's a huge physical toll for who knows how long, depending on your health conditions, your current health
Right.
conditions, and your mental, like, well-being.
Right.
Like, it's just something, like, every woman goes through that gets pregnant. They have that maternal instinct, whether you want to admit it or not.
Right. Yeah, you are forming a biological connection with another human being
Yeah.
that is so deep and it's so biologically rooted
Yeah.
that there's no just moving on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a possibility. And like I said before, your hormones are changing so much. There was a study that I know showed that you're at an increased risk of breast cancer by like 40%. Like you're messing with your body in a way it's not meant to be messed with.
Yeah.
I mean, I even think about the fact that like I have major issues with birth control.
Oh, yeah.
Not because I think it's an abortion or anything like that. I just health-wise I think it's really bad for you. And I think about how little hormones are in that compared to an abortion pill.
Yeah.
Like I know birth control messed with my body a lot. And now we want to do an increased amount of progesterone.
Yeah. And then,
or decreased amount of progesterone.
and like, there's also Plan B too. Like,
oh my gosh,
can't
we could go on and on.
we could go on. This could be a 3-hour podcast episode here.
Right. I'd walk out so depressed. And I think the other thing too to note with all this is, especially when you're looking at the mental health stuff, is we focus a lot on the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's dads here too. And there's
Yeah.
also a biological connection of a dad to his daughter or his son.
Yeah.
And you're ripping that from them and saying you don't get to have feelings about it.
Right.
And it's messed up.
That's actually one thing that we have in our next section of abortion myths is that people claim that abortion is a women's issue. No.
It's an everybody issue.
It's an everybody issue. Like, I have a question here. It says, do you think that women who have abortions should consult the father first? I think absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't
unless-
think you should have an abortion, period, right?
Right.
But yeah, at the very least, the father needs to be involved. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they, like, I don't know, like, you can't get a hold of
Yeah,
them.
right.
Like,
If they're not.
yeah. If they're unreachable. But
Right.
it reminds me of this one scene in the TV show called Girls.
Yes, I've seen this with Adam Driver.
Yeah, Adam Driver. And the girl literally just goes like, oh yeah, I had an abortion this morning. And he's like, what? Like, that was my child too. You killed my child? And she's like, yeah, I didn't think you'd have a problem with it. He's like, of course I have a problem with it. You just murdered my child. So, love Adam Driver for that.
Yeah,
So-
and the acting in that was really good too.
Yeah, that was
He's a really good actor.
I know. He's also a former Marine, I believe.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I think-
I just know him from Kylo Ren.
That's what a lot of people know him from, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great.
Yeah. No, I think it's a major issue that we don't talk about is, and not even just the dads, but the grandparents involved, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The siblings involved,
Mm-hmm.
Think about the fact that there's people growing up without siblings, or even just thinking about, 1/3 of our generation is gone at least.
Yeah. Like, I know, like, I've heard stories, I don't know anybody personally, but I've heard stories of people who have gotten abortions and then they're like, oh, my mom finally decided to have me after 6 abortions. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm the youngest of 7 people and they're all dead because my mom had 6 abortions. And it's just crazy to think like
Yeah.
that. Like, my grandparents, on my mom's side, they had a child that died 2 days after birth, and she was the eldest child, so
Yeah.
nobody knew her except for my grandparents. And
Right.
my mom, like, we don't talk about her that much, but it still lives in the back of my mom's head and my grandma's head, of course, and my grandpa's head until
Right.
he unfortunately passed. But it's like, it's just like, I cannot imagine going through the loss of a child.
No, that's like I'm not even dating anyone.
No,
That's one
same.
of my biggest fears.
Same.
like I think about that a lot. Like just the fact that like one day I will have to be responsible for another human, and the idea of losing that human is terrifying. And you know, and I think those feelings of fear do help me to sympathize with people who are pregnant and unsure what to do, right? Like
Yeah.
I think more of my blame I think I put on the doctors than in the abortion industry. But yeah, I don't know. It's just sad to think. There was a statistic I saw somewhere where 43% there was a statistic I saw somewhere where 25% of American women will have had an abortion by age 45.
Oh my gosh.
So like that's 1 in 4.
That 1 in 4 women will kill their child in the womb because they either don't want it, they don't have, like, they didn't get the gender that they wanted,
Right.
or they just think that the child is better off without life.
Yeah,
Because
or they're just it's an inconvenience, you know? Or
in all, it's just they think it's an inconvenience.
well, in any case, it's an
Yeah.
inconvenience. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to, right?
Yep.
Some cases are much more extreme, and I think we can sympathize with those people and understand that's a very difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times, though, it's not even that. It's I don't want a kid.
Yep.
Why? Oh, I just don't want one. It's too much money, too much work, and that's messed up. There's also for every 5 people, there's 1 missing due to abortion. So if you're in a group of 5 people, there should be 6 there.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have to let my brain load with that one. Hold on. So, like,
For every 5 people that exist, there's
Oh,
one
oh.
person that's missing due to abortion.
okay, I got it now. The brain loaded.
But yeah, it goes back to think like sometimes I think like if abortion wasn't a thing or wasn't as big of a thing as it is and there wasn't this huge industry, would my friend group be totally different?
Oh my gosh, I've never thought about that.
Right? Or even I'm a big believer in best friends.
Yeah.
Like you can have your best friend, right?
Yeah.
And I think about people who I've had conversations with people who are like, I don't believe in best friends. I've never had a best friend. I don't think I ever will.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me wonders was their best friend killed in the womb?
I've never thought about that before. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Or even, would there be a cure for cancer now?
Oh, true. Like, did the people who had all these, like, that were going to contribute so much to life,
Mm-hmm.
are we so far behind because of how many people have been killed in the womb?
Right. Or even I think about, would that person not have committed suicide if this person was there to speak life into them?
Amen. You know, this is just like, I didn't even think about this part.
Yeah, it gets deep.
Yeah, no, it's a very deeply rooted issue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to move into some of the abortion myths? I know we touched on one of them already.
Yeah, so the first one that all of these myths have come from the Students for Life website, by the way. They have a lot of great information on there. But this first one is that they claim that abortion is only 4% of what Planned Parenthood does.
Yeah, right.
That is false. It's 97% of what Planned Parenthood services are. They are abortions.
Well, and you know, when they say that's 4% of what they do, you know, they're including their parking lot
Yeah. Yep.
and the cleaning their windows and all this stuff that's like, okay, you can't count that. That's not what you guys, that's not your purpose, right?
Yeah. It's what services you provide to the customer.
Right, exactly. And I've looked at the receipts on this one. I remember Planned Parenthood posted one time what they do. And you can find it on the internet too. I can't remember where you find it, but this information is out there.
Yeah.
They have to report it every year. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is not true at all. It's, you know, like you said, 97%.
97%. And then between 2022 and 2023, 402,230 abortions were committed by Planned Parenthood alone. So that excludes all of the other services that provide
Right.
abortions. Like, this is just
Yeah,
Planned
like hospitals, right?
Yeah.
And in 2023, at least, there was 1 million abortions.
Yeah.
So to put that in perspective, it's roughly about
Roughly half, yeah. Roughly half to fund Planned Parenthood. I stand behind that.
Oh, amen. I remember Wisconsin had a big win this year where Planned Parenthood
Yeah.
stopped operating. I want to say they found some loophole in their back, but I'd have to look into it. I know there was some
same.
stuff going on.
I know there's a Planned Parenthood down the road from here, and
But it doesn't
I don't think it
abortions.
operates.
I know it for sure it doesn't do abortions because they come to campus.
Oh, yeah.
Because they hand out the Plan B and stuff.
Yeah, so they do provide services, but they don't
And they do
provide...
sex change.
That's a whole nother topic I don't appreciate, but...
Foreshadowing of an episode to come.
Oh, that would be a good one. But, yeah, I know there's one down the road, and I don't think abortions are legal in Wisconsin.
Well...
Like, I think there's a fine line that you can tiptoe around.
Pretty much Governor Evers says he's not going to enforce because there was that 1848 law. That's why that Supreme Court election was so important, right?
Yeah.
And I think ultimately I want to say they ruled that you can have abortions, but it's like not written enough that places are like, yes, we'll provide an abortion.
Yeah.
They're still very quiet about it.
Oh, that sucks. Because, I mean,
Yeah, 2025, there was a Supreme Court ruling. So just, I want to say it was in August or something.
That is
And
so
they ruled,
unfortunate.
yeah. So, yeah. So now they're allowed up to 20 weeks.
That's insane.
Which 20 is better than none.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
You mean...
think about,
Yeah.
20 is better than no limit.
Yes.
Right. But think about, I think 20 weeks, to me, I have always struggled with, this many weeks, because it's based on viability a lot of times. But viability has changed so much and will continue to change. And just at 18 weeks, babies start, like, understanding sounds.
Yeah.
You go back further to things like 13 weeks, they're sensitive to the touch. 11 weeks, they have complex facial expressions. 10 weeks, they have their own fingerprint. All the way back to 7 weeks, they can hiccup.
That is crazy.
It's like it makes me happy to just think about that,
Yeah.
like to think that there's like a little being inside of us that grows and can it's a human. It does human things. And like, I think a hiccup is such a good example because it's something we all like relate to. We've all gotten the hiccups, right? And we're all like, and now picture how cute it is to have like a little tiny bean inside you hiccuping. Like it's
A little bean.
it's just a little bean.
It's just a little bean.
So yeah, I think the 20 weeks is such a stupid way of like, viability or even brain waves. Like, yes, there's not complex thinking identified until 17 weeks, but you can see brain waves all the way back at 6 weeks.
Yep.
And we don't know what that in between is.
Like, it's a whole debate on when life starts.
Right.
And
actually, I don't even think it is.
I don't think it is. I think it's pretty set in, it's pretty obvious.
I would argue, though, that the argument isn't when life begins, because I think scientists and, I think even pro-choicers are starting to believe life begins at, they're starting to see the fact. Life begins at fertilization.
Yep.
I think the argument is, when does human life become a human person with value?
When do humans start getting human rights?
Yeah.
You mean a human in the womb doesn't have human rights?
Apparently not.
Crazy concept right there, guys. I feel like I remember hearing about this debate before from somebody possibly named Charlie Kirk, but...
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
He was a really good advocate for the pro-life issue.
He was.
He's a really good advocate for everything.
No, he was. I definitely miss him. But
yeah. Another person taken away due to violence.
But,
what other myths do you have?
Another one is tax money doesn't fund abortion.
Huh.
Lies. Literally straight up lies. Planned Parenthood receives nearly $800 million annually from the federal government. And where does the federal government get their money from? taxpayers. So it's like that's just literally a flat out lie. Like you can't debunk that. It's literally the facts.
Right. And I know Trump has worked on targeting legislation or creating legislation, you know, working with Congress and stuff to stop this.
Yeah.
But it's not something he can just do.
Yeah. No, it's like, I mean, with our governmental system, you have checks and balances.
Right.
And especially the judicial branch has been blocking a lot of President Trump's what he wants to do. So.
I do think that he prohibited the use of federal funds for abortion, so things like Medicaid. But yeah, no, we are actively paying for abortions.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I feel like if something's going against my beliefs and my religion and is just morally, objectively evil, I should have the right to refuse to pay taxes.
Right.
But apparently you go to jail for that if you don't pay your taxes.
Okay.
All right. Let's hit another one.
So the last one we're going to go into is late-term abortions don't happen. Again, just lies. Again, like there are 7 states in the United States that abortion is legal up until the moment of birth. So you could be in labor and the baby is not born yet, and you can say, I don't want this child, give me an abortion, and they'll do it.
I don't get that. Like, at that point, just give birth.
Right.
It is giving birth. You're just giving birth to a dead baby. Like,
right. You're giving birth to a stillborn, except you killed it.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. I want to say it's Minnesota. Is New York one of them?
Great question. I didn't list them.
States with no limits include Alaska, Colorado, D.C., Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, and Vermont.
All right. We just listed all the states that you should avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
But literally, like, even though, like, these like thousands of these happen every year. Like, it's not in the 100,000s, but it is in the thousands.
Right.
Like, so a woman is like at 31 or 32 weeks, and then she just decides, oh, I don't want this child anymore, and then she goes and has an abortion. But in reality, that child could survive in the NICU
Right.
and have a great life with a different family through adoption.
Yeah. And there's so many families waiting to adopt.
Yeah. Like, you can't give me the argument that the system can be messed up sometimes.
Okay, but also they talk about people get confused foster care and adoption.
Yeah.
They're two very different things.
Yeah.
Foster care is designed to bring you back to your family.
Yeah.
So, like, if your parents, like, end up in jail for something, then foster care is designed to place you with a family temporarily, and then the hope is that you can be reunited once your parents get over whatever, they're struggling with. But adoption is when you actually, go into a new family. And adoption at birth, there are so many. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say it's something like 300 parents are waiting to adopt one baby.
Because there's so many people in this world that want to have children and can't have children, or they want to take care of children that aren't wanted.
Right.
And they want to bring them into their home and love them like their own, which I'm not opposed to adopting when I'm older.
Right.
Like, and a lot of the time these parents want to have, like, they want to adopt children right when they're infants so that they don't really know anything different.
Well, right. And the adopting from infancy is going to be a very different lifestyle.
Yes.
Than adopting, from later on. Like, there's just, it takes a mental toll on the child.
Yeah.
So, but adopting from birth is, a lot of people don't even know until they're older and their parents tell them.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, by the way,
right,
you're not biologically ours.
I think
but
we all had our
ours.
siblings tell us that at some point.
Yeah.
You're adopted.
Yeah, you're adopted. I'm like, girl, I look too much like my parents. Like, you can't
No,
confuse
literally.
it.
I look identical to my sister.
But, so, we have some personal thoughts. So, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
At what point do you think life starts?
Moment of fertilization. I don't think you can define it as anything past that. I know some people say implantation.
Yeah.
But I think the second there is new DNA is the second you have a new person.
Yep.
And I think if you define it anywhere else, you're deciding what a person is.
Right.
Where scientifically, that is a new... It's like when I culture cells in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a tissue engineering class right now. When I culture cells in the lab, the second a cell divides and creates a new cell, it's a new cell. And you count it as its own individual cell, and it can have its own properties.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like basic biology that like I literally use in the lab every week.
Yeah. Can't deny the facts of biology.
Right. So why would we count it as anything else?
Right. I 100% agree. It's at the point of fertilization, not implantation, because the egg is fertilized before it implants. So
Right. And I think you're leaving the room for all these exceptions and
yeah.
like, oh, well, what about this and what about that? And with that, my question to you is, what are your thoughts on legalizing abortions for like life with the mother?
So my personal take on this, for me, I'm going to say what I would want to happen to me first before I say whether it should be legal or not. I have said that if it comes down to it, my child or me, save my child.
Yeah.
And even I've had conversations with my parents about this too, and my dad's like, you wouldn't do it to save yourself? I'm like, no. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I had to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I would want my child to be living their life with their father.
Yeah.
And if that means that I don't make it, I don't make it. But I do understand there are sometimes like ectopic pregnancies. Those are very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
They can rupture your fallopian tubes, and those can cause major issues.
Right.
With ectopic pregnancies, it depends on how far along you are with the ectopic pregnancy. But my stance on it is that if it's implanted in your fallopian tube, the child is already dead. Because there is a 0% survival chance for an ectopic pregnancy. Like, I don't think there is one case out there where I've heard either the mother surviving or the child developing enough where it can survive in the NICU.
Do you think there will ever be a point in medicine?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. But
how would language like this change the law? Like, how would the law change? In your perfect world, Grace's perfect world, we have this exception for why is that such a
ectopic pregnancies?
Ectopic pregnancies. If we have that exception, and we start to begin to realize, wait, we can save this. This is something that is not 100%. Maybe it's 90%.
Yeah.
Or 80, and it just slowly is going down over time as we advance medicine.
Mm-hmm.
At what point is it no longer legal?
I think once we have figured out the technology to safely reimplant an embryo and a child from the fallopian tube to the uterus without causing illness to the mother or the child, I think that's when it becomes illegal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Honestly, I don't know if they classify ectopic pregnancies as abortion, because a lot of the time, they like will just go in and
Like surgically.
surgically either remove part of the fallopian tube, or they'll go in and or they'll like treat it like a miscarriage,
Right.
which another definition of a miscarriage is a spontaneous abortion, but it's all natural.
Right. And
That's
so
the
that's where you're
difference.
getting into a lot of definitional stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to clarify some of this definitional stuff because abortion means a lot of things
Yeah.
in different contexts. In the medical world, like you said, there's spontaneous abortions and there's elective abortions.
Mm-hmm.
And I would classify, I think when it comes to my view on life of the mother, I would say I would want all elective abortions to be illegal.
Yeah.
And I would argue that if there is no other option to save, like if you cannot save the baby and you cannot save the mother without removing the baby, and there's no way to remove the baby other than a chemical abortion, then I would say
Yeah.
then I would say that's okay, but I would classify it more as a spontaneous abortion. And I think in every case possible, you should remove the baby with the intent of you're going to try and find a way to save it.
Yeah. So you're saying, like, if there is, like, no possible way for the baby to survive and the mother to survive, and the only way for the mother to survive is to remove the pregnancy, you're saying that's the only exception.
Yeah, and I'm saying I wouldn't even classify as an exception because I would outlaw elective.
Yeah.
It wouldn't definitionally fit, in my opinion. Now, I am totally okay with having the exception written into law to further clarify.
Yeah.
And prevent, this idea that, like, oh, I'm going to be sued if I do this. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm totally okay with that. If it makes things more clear, I think we can always do better at making our laws clear.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a problem with that. But I do think that it just wouldn't classify, I guess.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you on that. Like, when I was speaking earlier for, like, myself, saying, like, save my child, that's if my child has a chance to live. Like, if they are saying, as soon as my child, or, like, your child is having these major issues in your womb, it's going to die if you keep it in there. Like, I would say, okay, then take my baby out and do everything you possibly can to save it.
Right.
And even that, I would consider that as like a C-section, a cesarean section.
Well, right. And I think one thing I struggle with, is, you brought up the idea of there's no chance of survival, right?
Yeah.
But miracles are real.
Right.
Miracles happen. I know people who were told, their mothers were told to abort them because they had no chance of survival.
Like,
they're great. Right. Like, I can't risk the chance. And part of it comes down to, I'm a Christian and my God's above this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? My God is above any type of disease.
Mm-hmm.
My God is above an ectopic pregnancy. If he wanted to, he could make that baby survive.
Yeah.
And so who am I to say, you don't get a chance?
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's also different if a doctor's saying your baby has no chance to live, but you will be okay if you choose not to remove the child. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it into God's hands. I'm going to nurture this baby as much as I possibly can. And whatever is done is God's will.
Yep. And I think that's a common misconception where life of the mother is used interchangeably with viability or even risk of pregnancy.
Yeah.
Be like, well, this pregnancy is going to put you at risk, so you need to abort.
It's like, okay, well, then what are those risks?
Right.
Like, what is going to happen to me if I don't do what you're telling me to do?
Right. And also, everyone, I think, in today's world knows what a pregnancy is, and there are complications that come with that. Like, you are signing up for that.
Yep.
And so I think, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a heavy issue, and I think I get where people come from with especially this side of it. And I think we both agree that life of the mother, we're willing to make that exception.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily
to a certain extent
definitionally agree with how things are always worded or the way it's placed in the law, but I think at least I'm willing to put it in legal terms, because I'm even willing to put rape and incest as an exception if it stops, the amount of abortions we're having now, because I think something's better than nothing.
Yeah, well, funny you bring that up. I actually don't think I would put in an exception for rape and incest, just because, like, I think of it as it's a terrible situation. I never wish rape or incest upon anybody. It is horrible, and I think, like, it's an epidemic that absolutely needs to end. But I think if you conceive a child from rape or incest, that is a gift from God.
Yeah.
And it is the good out of the bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Somebody else doesn't deserve to undergo the evil because you underwent evil.
And, like, I've seen so many testimonies online, especially from people saying, like, oh, I was conceived at rape, and I'm thankful that my mother didn't abort me because I'm here living my life and I'm loving it. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying, like, you don't get to determine my worth because of what happened to you.
Right.
And I know that sounds
absolutely
harsh.
Well,
but
yeah.
It's coming from the perspective of somebody who would have been killed if...
Right.
Like, yeah.
No, exactly. We're talking about two very horrific events. And one doesn't justify the other.
Right.
I do think that when I say, like, I'm willing to have an exception for rape and incest, I want to clarify, in my perfect world, that would not happen. Like, in my ideal... But I don't think we should stop abortion laws from being implemented if they have that exception. Like, I'm willing to put in place that abortion law in place of no abortion law.
Yeah, I can agree with that. If you eliminate certain, like, getting rid of any exceptions for abortion is a win in my book.
Right.
But in a perfect world, my only exception would be, like, if the child cannot survive and the mother will die.
Right.
Like, that is my only exception. Otherwise, it's murder. So.
Yeah.
So a question I have for you, Anna, is what do you think women need most when facing an unplanned pregnancy that they aren't getting?
That's a good question. And I think it's an important question for us as pro-lifers to ask, right? Because we talk a lot about the baby and what the baby needs, but we can't forget the mother.
Yeah.
They are biologically related and supporting each other.
Yeah.
And it's important that, we help them both. I think they need to be loved, and they need to be supported in a way that shows that we're here for them. They need to be seen and heard, like just taking the time to listen to them, doing the little things for them. Being like, hey, let's go grab coffee. They probably can't have coffee, but let's go grab something.
Let's go grab a juice or a smoothie.
Right. But I think making people more aware of the resources that are there for them. I know Standing With You is a great resource. It's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But they have a whole website, and they also have a phone number you can call or text, 877-910-0096. And if you or someone you know is struggling with abortion, like, they're there for you. They'll walk you through, whether it's post-abortion or you just found out you're pregnant, like, they're there for you.
Yeah.
Really cool organization. There's Heartbeat International, which is a 24/7 hotline, which runs for women who have unexpected pregnancies. It's 1-800-712-HELP. They will connect expecting mothers to resources for unplanned pregnancies and really help, get you prepared to have a kid.
Yeah.
Whether you're putting it up for adoption or keeping the child, they are there for you. Save the Storks is another great one. They have little mobile clinics. They do free ultrasounds. I think a big thing that is important to know is if you or someone you know has taken the abortion pill and they took that first one, but they haven't taken the second one yet,
Oh, yeah.
there's the abortion pill reversal. And this is a really controversial thing, but I think it's really important that women know it's available because we're talking about somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the opportunity to save that person's life, even after the abortion began, we need to do everything in our power to do that.
Yeah.
And the way this works is you just take this pill as soon as you can, essentially.
Yeah.
After you've taken that first pill, and it gives them extra progesterone, which kind of counteracts some of those effects that we talked about with mifepristone. And ultimately, there has been studies that have shown that it saves the baby, and oftentimes doesn't even have like an effect on the baby long term. Like, can save them from some of the side effects as well.
Yeah.
So that's a great resource as well. I'm a big fan of Students for Life.
Me too. I love them.
Yeah. No. And the thing I'll say is if you're somebody who's passionate about this, I encourage you to go to either your state's March for Life or the National March for Life. I went a few years back to the National March for Life. Literally top experience of my life. Like, it was really cool to see so many people fighting for the most vulnerable of our nation.
I feel like we should get a group together and see if we can go this year, but I don't know if
it's too late.
Yeah.
I saw it and
Yeah.
I was going to mention it, but it was like early October.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it would be really cool because it's over winter break.
Yeah.
So
maybe,
next year.
Yeah. Next year. I see there's another resource on here. It's the Lifeline Child Services. So it offers adoption services, and it also offers family counseling and parenting education to support women through unexpected pregnancies. So it pretty much gives you all the options that aren't abortion and what you can do.
That's awesome.
So honestly, I just think we need to give women these other options. We can't just be like, abortion is your only option. It's either that or suffer. No. You have all of these resources, and there are many, many other local resources I'm sure you can find around your area. And the Heartbeat International Hotline will actually point you to those local resources. So use your resources, be informed, and make that's all I can encourage is like be informed, make sure you know what you're doing. And know if your heart can live with that. Yeah.
No, and if you are somebody who's had an abortion or know somebody who's had an abortion, you know, I think you can't live your life looking back, right?
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous loss, and I'm so incredibly sorry for that loss.
Yeah.
But know that there's resources to help you too. And, you know, we're here for you, and we want to help you through that pain and suffering as well. Yeah. And so, and if you're somebody who's, maybe you're like me and you're like, I don't know anyone who's had an abortion, like, that's close to me. I'm not pregnant. I'm not planning on getting pregnant. Like, what can I do to help? Like, get involved, you know, find your local pregnancy center. A lot of times they just need people to make baby blankets or, you know, sort things, or they have fundraisers that they need help with or whatever.
Yeah. Just like any volunteering, like, they can use so much help. And they'll be so grateful for it. Plus, if you need volunteer hours, this is a great way to rack up your volunteer hours.
Right, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I personally know somebody. I don't talk to them anymore. But in high school, I knew somebody that had an abortion, and it was like, I was definitely disappointed that was the route that they went.
Right, and I think that's natural.
I make an effort not to judge somebody on their decision because they did what they thought was best for them. And I'm just like, okay, that was your decision. You had your reasons. Like, I'm not gonna judge you tremendously. Like, obviously, internally, a tiny bit, I'm gonna be like, okay, so they're willing to...
end of life.
End of life. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're a horrible person. Da-da-da.
Well, and also a lot of women who seek out abortions, especially that young, are uneducated, right?
Yeah, right.
And we're misguided. And I think that's important to note too. And And I think for me, I know a couple people who have had abortions, and more than anything, I don't feel like I've never judged them or even felt like judging them. I just hurt for them.
Yeah, I think that is mostly what happened. Is I was like, dang, like I feel so like I'm so sorry that you went through that loss. Like,
and I think sometimes we can feel that grief too, just the grief of like there was a human that was lost.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a sad thing to think about. Like,
yeah.
Like I've stated, I can't imagine losing my child.
No.
Like,
yeah.
If I ever had a miscarriage, that would truly break me. Like.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine intentionally killing my child. So, but those are my takes.
No, this was a very somber podcast,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think it was a very necessary one.
Yes. So apologize for the sad topic, but it needed to be talked about.
No, absolutely.
And now you guys know the resources you can go to if you or somebody you know is struggling with an unplanned pregnancy and considering an abortion.
Right. So. And I encourage you too, just to look into like fetal development, and like you can get excited about this stuff too. Like
there's like fun tracking apps.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah. So with that, thank you guys for listening to Right on Campus. We post this podcast weekly, tackling current events and life as a conservative on campus. If you'd like to learn more about UWEC College Republicans, join our meetings on Monday nights in Centennial 1704 at 7 p.m. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.
Thank you for listening to Right on Campus. We post this podcast once a week, where we talk about current events and life as a conservative on campus. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at UWEC College Republicans. Have a great night, and see you next time.